Almost live. Oh, we're live. Yay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So we're back for another little segment, Pens Chat, with Attila. That's me. And the talking machine. It's my man over
Hello,
there.
Attila. Let's go. Come on, buddy. Keep chewing those nuts.
That's right. I just got done working out. So I'm sneaking in some peanuts and, whatever this bag of mixed nuts here is. I love this
Guess
stuff.
what?
From
I'll
Aldi.
drink. I'll drink some loose leaf green tea.
There we go. There we go. We got to get in our stuff, right?
Yes.
Beautiful things nobody's in yet anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Well, this can just be our private chat that's public.
That's right. It's basically what they are. That's how I look at them all. We just talk, and if people are interested, they are. That's wonderful. If they're not, that's fine too.
Well, you know me. You just ask a question, I can talk. Then
Yes,
if
you
you let
can,
me
sir.
ask questions, you can talk. Real
I
simple.
can. Yes, this is a dangerous conversation. Having you and I talking.
Ah, it
People don't
does
even know the
not.
half of it.
Well, I appreciate the last show, half an hour, hour and 20 minutes.
Tonight, I am actually going to try to keep it to about a half an hour-ish because I'd like to see the Trump thing that I was supposed to go to tonight. But as you know, we live in Pittsburgh, and our weather sucks 90% of the times.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So that's kind of what happened here. I'm hoping that he, scratches it tonight and they reschedule to like Sunday, like kind of like they did last week in Nebraska or wherever.
Right.
But
right.
I don't think that's happening. My homegirl Wendy Bell, our homegirl, she was supposed to be out there too, and I think she ended up not going.
Wow.
So we had a bunch of us. My buddy Gio, he was going to go. He's not going. It's just my thing is
I heard Westmoreland County police pulled out of security.
That's interesting.
Yeah, last minute they just pulled out. Numerous reasons they were saying, and liability insurance, and it was on a private property. So
right, it was some fairgrounds. I think it was at the Westmoreland Fairgrounds or whatever it is.
Well, it was supposed to be, but then it's on private property. Okay. I just saw a little blurb came up on Google on my phone, and I was like, oh, I'll click on it and see what they said about it. And they thought at first it would just be in the county, but then now it's on private property.
Huh.
And that creates a liability risk for the county. Don't get me started on government, city, state, county.
Politics. I'll take that great line out of History of the World. Remember that with Mel Brooks?
Yes.
Politics. The Roman bribe, what is it? The common man bribes, or it was all the way bribery, all the way up to the emperor.
Yes. Classic. That's a classic.
Oh, I love all things Mel Brooks. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, Mel Brooks is a genius. He got away with murder.
And I told the story before, but when I broke my back, I had my brother record me 2 songs. And, because they were kind of dark times for me, when you're going through rehab and, your whole life's literally turned upside down and sideways and you don't know.
Let me clarify it from somebody who didn't go through it. Breaking my back and becoming paralyzed would be traumatic and it'd be borderline insane. So whatever you want to do makes sense. Okay.
Right. Well, it just, like I said, it literally flips your whole life upside down, and you don't know what the future is going to hold and all that stuff. Things fall apart the way you
don't even know what's going on currently.
Right. So
that's why I listen to people that have suffered trauma like you, and that's why you're a hero with what you made yourself into.
Well, I'm a curious person, and that's what keeps me going. I always want to know what tomorrow brings. But so
I'm
anyway,
curious with you. Let's go, bring it. Come on.
Exactly. So I had my brother record me 2 songs that I would listen to over and over. Anytime because not every day is rainbow sunshine. You have your down moments. So I had 2 songs that I had him record to me on a cassette. We're going back to 1993 cassette, and one was History of the World's The Inquisition, the song.
Yes.
The Inquisition, what a show, The Inquisition. I love that song. That song just makes me laugh every time. And the other one was Always Look on the Bright Side of Life from Monty Python.
Oh, okay.
And I listened to those 2 songs so much that I literally warped the cassette.
Wow.
it got totally warped.
Then you tried to rethread it. You had to try to rethread it.
Right.
You know how they came out.
You got to get out your pen and, roll it back.
Get the pencil even and use that with the eraser.
Right. So running a little late today because I was doing my game, so my workout. And I just want to show people who don't know what a game cycle is.
Yeah.
It's right here. Where is it? So this is the game cycle that I use. Now I recorded this in 2014, so the place looks completely different now. But I do that for an hour, which is a great cardiovascular workout. Now it's got a video game where you're racing cars and stuff.
Wow.
The only bummer is that the video game part of it broke, so that doesn't work for me now. So I just throw on my headset, turn up the music, and I ride away with my eyes closed. So I do an hour of that, and you wouldn't believe what a good cardio workout that is.
I believe it. I actually stopped walking because of the weather, and my anti-remission drugs make me susceptible to colds, and I have to watch with my transplant. So I'm rowing a half hour a day, and I had a battery in there because I bought it last January 9th, and I've been using it every day. The battery died, and it would have the stats. Like I would do a half an hour to 40 minutes. It'd show me how many. Well, I put a new battery in and it stays blank. Put another new battery and it's blank. So I just watch TV.
Right.
And whatever my stats are, I'm done 30, 35 minutes and I get a good workout, and it's good for my cardio and all over body exercise.
Yeah, absolutely. Rowing is actually one of the best.
I'm using my body like you in a sense there.
Rowing really is one of the best workouts. That and jumping rope are two of the best workouts you can do because it kind of does your whole over body.
Right. Yeah, you can't get away from your whole body because you're using it.
Yeah. And and again, living in Pittsburgh, you can't get out and run every day.
No.
I always call the Pittsburgh Marathon the great home disadvantage for us.
Whoa, yes.
Because people come in from out of town and from Texas, Florida, South Carolina, they come in, they've been training all winter, and here we are all bundled up and freezing and
and then you're tired of being soggy with your shoes and clothes and everything else, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So I do want to give a shout out to my buddy Lee Tempest. He won the Pittsburgh Marathon this year. So
nice.
I wasn't in it. I'm done racing hand cycles. I'm on to other things, And so to me, he's the guy actually.
You've never been this old before, so life changes.
Well, I just have other goals.
That's my point. You can say whatever you want.
It's still very physical. Well, the thing is, I won it 3 times. So really the only thing I can do is win it 4 times.
Yes.
So, it's like once you've won it 1, 2, 3 times, then you're like, okay, this is repetitive. I'm looking for the next challenge. And
just to bring that up is like when the Penguins won back-to-back Stanley Cups, it's so hard. Look at Tampa Bay. Back-to-back, they're going for their 3rd cup. You lose the hunger that you had.
Yes.
And I don't care what anybody says. You need a psychologist to pump you up to get beyond, wait, I succeeded and got everything I wanted with this championship.
I've never won the marathon back-to-back.
Right.
I won it 3 times, and then I did horrible usually the next time around. I ended up finishing the first time. Well, the first time when I won the marathon, then I ended up in bed for 3.5 years. So that happened.
Right.
But then when I came out, I thought I was ready. I wasn't. I ended up finishing 9th. I did terrible.
Wow.
So then the following year, I finished 2nd, then 1st, 5th, and 1st. So, and then I retired.
You were on a pattern of every other.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I won 50%. I mean, that's not bad. That's like Brady, who wins the Super Bowl every other year.
Well, yeah. 7 of them. 7 of them.
Right.
So, yes.
I mean, I think he literally in the last like 3 or 4 Super Bowls, he literally won every other year.
Oh, no doubt about it. And look how he came back, and then he won another one. So
well, he should win another one now because this is the off year, right? He didn't win this past year. The Rams did.
Well, the only thing is that's why you're my hero. You're on your own and you have a support team. He's on a team and he's the greatest player of all time. Yeah. So if you have a bad center on your team, since I played center, I'll pick on the center.
Oh, is that what you played? Okay.
Yes. Starting center on my high school team. Yeah. So if the center isn't that good, the quarterback is going to have issues.
You know what? I've had my foot stepped on because I played some quarterback in high school.
Right.
I was place kicker for 4 years, but I also, I was like the emergency quarterback. And so I did play some games with the JV, like all the way through my junior year. I played JV and varsity.
Wow, and then, that's tough.
Which was actually fun because I got to play Friday and Monday.
Yeah.
And then my senior year, I felt so lonely not playing on Mondays. You know, like you weren't, obviously as a senior, you're not allowed to be on JV. And
Yeah.
I've had my foot stepped on quite a few times, you know, because I didn't get out fast enough or the center just backed up faster than I expected.
Now
And
you understand being a quarterback why I picked on the center.
yeah.
One bad step, look what
Hey,
happens.
not only does your foot hurt from having those cleats step on you,
Yeah.
but you know, you usually end up falling flat on your face.
Right.
And half of the times you might even fumble because you're not expecting it. So
Well, even worse is sometimes a lineman will come flying in and knock you flat on your back.
yeah.
I mean, that's just as bad.
I
That's where
had
the
one
ball
game.
comes on.
We
Yeah.
played one game where I got hit so much. I mean, I got hit every time. It didn't matter if I handed off the ball, if I threw the ball, if I went to throw the ball,
You
if
were
I had
getting
the
hit.
ball or not. I just got hit every single play. And I got so tired of picking myself off the ground, which is, by the way, exhausting.
Oh,
People have
yeah.
no idea, but you know, when you play like 40 plays, let's say in a game, and you're getting up off the ground each time, not only does
Right.
the hit hurt and, you know, that wears on you, but then you have to get yourself physically back up. So that wears on you. And I just remember like halfway through the fourth quarter, I'm looking at my coach. This is the JV
Yeah.
coach, Mr. Horowitz, Coach Horowitz, who was my favorite coach. And
Wow. Nice.
I'm standing there with my hands on my hip and looking at him, and I was ready to cry. I'm like, Coach, get me out of here.
No,
And you know
and
what though?
I'll
You know
give
what though? He just looked at me. He just had this like, calm down,
calming look.
calm down.
Yeah.
And I calmed down, and we drove down the field and scored, tied the game. Then I kicked the extra point and we won. And
Nice.
we came from behind. And it's amazing when you have a coach like that who knows how to treat each player, because you can't treat two players the same way.
No,
You
they're
don't
all
treat your
different.
quarterback or your linebacker or the kicker the same way.
Right. Let
And
alone linemen. How do you
right,
treat the linemen? Just yell
right.
at them. Come on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, you can yell at the defensive players to get them fired up. That works. But you can't do
Right.
that to the place kicker. And my varsity coach would do that to me every time. You know, I would, because as a kicker, it's almost like you're a golfer. You know what you need to do. You have
Right.
one job.
Just go
You don't,
through it. Yeah.
yeah, you don't need to get all fired up to kick a field goal. That's the last thing you want to be. You end up
Right.
shanking, you know? And,
No, I
you know,
can understand that. I wasn't a fired up type of guy. I was quiet, and I knew what I had to do as a center. If
yeah,
I'm blocking, I get the first line, then I go to a linebacker. I knew that. Coach
yeah.
is yelling at me. I ignored it. I just played my game. But
You know
I
what?
wanted to bring this analogy with Muhammad Ali. If you noticed, he always held the other boxer's head down in a clinch.
Oh, yeah.
Lifting your head up tires you out.
Yes,
He
it
was
does.
playing the long game
Yeah.
where they're playing knockout games in the first 5 rounds. Then
Well,
they're
I mean,
playing. Then they're
I
in
don't know
10
if
or
Ali necessarily had knockout power per se. When he
he
went up
did.
against guys like George Foreman and Joe Frazier,
He
I mean, those
wasn't
were
in their
knockout guys.
he wasn't in their category, but his jab was so deadly that
Yeah.
the repetition of getting hit in the head that damages you 7, 8 rounds down
Yeah,
there.
right. But that's what I'm saying, though. Like, how many times did he knock somebody out, like Mike Tyson, in the first or second round? I mean,
Not too
half of
many
the
times.
half
Yeah,
of the times with a Tyson fight, I barely cracked my beer, took a sip, and the fight's over.
exactly. No, the
Now,
power
granted,
he had.
Mike also didn't fight the caliber of the guys that Ali did.
No, in the 70s was a whole different group.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's that too. You know, I mean, I would always love to see like how Tyson would have fared going up against those guys in their prime. You know, because
Yeah.
I don't know, I don't think Tyson fought Foreman, did he? I don't remember him fighting Foreman.
I think he might have when he was older. When he
When
came
Mike was
back
older?
or whatever, I think he might have
Yeah,
fought him
I don't
towards the.
recall him. I mean, you might be right. I just don't
No,
remember it.
maybe, but I'm thinking he did. But
I know he fought that kid from Pittsburgh. Oh no, that was George Foreman who fought him.
yeah,
Well, the Detroit kid, but he's originally, I think, from Pittsburgh area. What was his name?
Michael
Black
Moore.
kid, lefty. Michael Moore. Yes,
Yeah,
yes. Which Michael Moore had the talent, but he just didn't have the drive. He didn't have the drive. Yeah.
Here's what happened. I call a lot of athletes. They have a 2-cent brain.
Yeah.
And they can only go so far with that.
Yeah.
Now, somebody that has an open mind like us, we're open to other things in reality where they're limited. It's like being in the box. You know how people say, "Are you in the box?"
Oh, sure.
I always go, "I'm so far outside the box. Why is there a box?" Because you know
So
how
you're
we
looking at the
talk.
box with binoculars.
Yeah, that's it. infrared. So
I'll never forget. I'll never forget the night when Michael Moore and George Foreman fought, and literally all Moore had to do in the final round is just stay away from him. And what
yeah,
does he do? He walks right into a George Foreman cross.
and the power he had.
That was it. That was the end of it. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
Foreman's got bricks for hands, man, and not even bricks. He's got cinder blocks.
Oh yeah.
So, that guy, you know. So let's get to the Penguins.
I'm ready.
Yes. So we knew that there was going to be a good chance they're going to lose this game with Domingue coming
we
in,
did. And
third
I
string
told you,
goalie.
yeah. And anybody that's out there that may have heard this or watched the last show, I was talking about the whole season. They're one of the grittiest teams that I saw, except if they're not fast and quick and scoring first, we have a problem. Guess what happened the other night?
We didn't score first.
Thank you. Again.
Well, not only, and I hate to hark on Letang, but he made a couple of boneheaded plays that cost goals directly.
It's obvious, yes.
Yeah, and I think the thing you really saw is, they played a doubleheader the other night. And you saw that the younger team had the advantage. In the third period, I know the Penguins came out firing, right? They controlled the first about 6 minutes. I think the Rangers went without even a shot.
Oh, yeah.
And
no, it was like 9-1. Attila, it was like 9-1 in shots. Penguins.
Yeah, it was crazy in the third period. But then you saw where the Pens kind of hit a wall. And then the Rangers speed and youth started taking over. And of course, that last goal, the fifth goal, was a fluky goal. I think that was the fifth goal where it hit off Madison's foot, I think.
Yeah. Matheson's,
And again, backup goalie, because if he just would have had to stick down, that puck would have never went in. It went right through the 5-hole.
Right.
So that's why he's the third string goalie.
Well, that's how you have to look at it. And there's no doubt about it. But I want to just interject the beginning of the game. The team that had the more youthful and skating after playing the doubleheader was all Rangers. And then in the second period, the Rangers had 17 shots.
Yeah.
So, I mean, throughout the game, they only had that pause in the third period at the beginning of it, first 5 to 10 minutes. Mm-hmm. Then after that, they were back to where they were because I saw no hope of a comeback.
I wonder if the reason that the Pens didn't match them in shots is because they were defending Domingue. They knew they got the third string goalie. I mean, come on. At this point, Ron Hextall is going to have to suit up and play in the next game. Step out of the GM post, Ron, and come on. You still got it.
Here's what I tell everybody else that might question what you're saying. I go, if you were on a team, what would you think? Your third string.
We got to protect that goalie.
Your third string goaltender's in here. Why is he third string?
Because he's not good enough to be the first.
Thank you.
Or the second.
Thank you.
And I don't know if he had the. I don't know if he had the. What did he have? Pork and spicy pork and broccoli.
Yeah, he had that.
I don't know if he had it before this game.
And he probably ate it cold because it was for later. He didn't even heat it up. They didn't even talk about that. I'm like, who wants to eat spicy pork and broccoli when it's cold? Right. but I mean, that happened.
Look, I think the kid did a good job. I really do. I think he kept them in it for the first two periods. Yeah. It was only 3-2 after 2. And then the third period, like I said, the Penguins couldn't get that tying goal. Then the Rangers got those two quick goals in 30 seconds apart or whatever it was, 15 seconds apart.
That sealed the deal. And all year we've been giving up quick goals at the beginning of a period, at the end of the period, which is the worst time to ever give up a goal. Look at how many times we've seen that in a minute and a half.
That drives me crazy. Seconds. That drives me crazy when they give up a goal in the last minute or the first minute.
And then what drives me crazy is we'll score a goal. Within a minute, they score a goal.
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, here's what I say. I'm a competitor. I'm not letting down. Penguins let down, even though they're a gritty team that they are. They have these moments of lapses, I guess you could call it. It's a lapse.
That was a hallmark of their game all year long, is giving up a goal immediately after they score and then allowing at least 5 to 6 odd man rushes per game. Now, I don't think they allowed any this game. I can't remember. I don't think so.
It didn't seem that way. I didn't recall.
I know the Rangers almost got one. I remember that they almost got one. A long stretch pass almost got through. And they might have had one. I'm not sure, but I don't think so. So they played. I mean, they didn't play bad. The Penguins did not play bad, honestly. I just think that the younger, fresher team won game 2. I
Well,
think,
in general,
and the better goalie.
yeah. Well,
Even with that flop, oh my god, that flop. I'm like, come on, man. You
right,
know, how
right,
are you gonna talk about soccer players taking dives? And here's this guy more padded than any SWAT team member, than anybody in the United States military, and during battle. And he goes knee to knee with Jeff Carter, and he flops like, he got hit with an elephant gun.
right.
And then he's laying there like, oh, I'm injured. Like, come on.
No, that just looks so odd and fake.
Yeah, that
You
was
can't
bad.
deny it.
That was bad. And but explain to me why he didn't get a what's the call that they usually have when somebody tries to fake or something, like when they call a penalty on a player,
Oh yeah,
and then
yeah.
when
That's
they try to
a
sell the
flop.
play.
They call it like a flop. If there's
Yeah, yeah. I forget what the term they exactly call it. It might be a
yeah,
flop, yeah. But
yeah. That
they'll
definitely
call.
was a flop because Carter was just turning around to come there, and they hit knees,
Yeah.
and then he went down like he was shot.
But you get right.
He was shot.
JFK didn't go down that hard.
No, no
uh,
way.
but I mean, you can tell that he stuck that left knee out. And Don Kowarski, of all refs that Pittsburghers hate,
Yeah,
Don Kowarski even said it. He said Jeff Carter didn't do anything wrong there. He was just
right. It was a hockey play.
yeah.
That's all it was. He was
So
coming over from the side, and the goaltender was trying to get back in position from being behind the goal.
yeah, but he put that little extra knee out. His little left leg kind of went out there, and I thought that was a junk play, and he should have got a penalty. He really, because any other player they would have called it.
Yeah, yeah,
Any other player would have got that penalty. In fact, I think the Penguins ended up with a penalty out of that.
yeah.
I don't remember what the penalty was exactly. I don't think it was on Carter.
No, it wasn't on Carter because I was like you. I go, he put his knee out. That's a penalty.
Yeah,
Simple as that.
yeah.
And I don't
So
know
I
who
don't remember.
did.
I don't remember. Did the play end up 4-on-4 afterwards, or was there a
Yes.
short?
Yeah,
It
it
was
was a
4-on-4.
4-on-4.
Okay, so it was probably for the fighting, whatever ensued after every hit in the NHL anymore.
Yeah.
Fights break out.
Right. Yeah, it's crazy. Sticks are up in the face and all this other stuff. It's like, how about we play hockey, guys?
I tell you what, though, are the playoffs more intense this year? I don't recall the first round being this intense with this many like headhunter type hits, and not necessarily even headhunter per se, but because they're
Right.
good hits. They're
More
good hits.
physical. You're seeing physicality
Oh
out
my
there.
goodness gracious! Let me show. Did you see the play in Boston?
I don't think I did. No.
Let me play that real quick. I don't know. I don't know the players who they were. Boston, Carolina. Man, this
Yeah,
player
that's all
got
right.
killed. This player got absolutely killed. Where is it?
Let's check it out then. Come on.
Yeah.
What a hit! A mammoth hit delivered in the Bruins.
Okay, watch the replay.
Okay.
Who delivered an absolutely clean hit.
I mean, he
Svechnikov.
killed him. Look at it. He can't even stand up.
As the shoulder
Oh!
goes through the body. Svechnikov doesn't.
I mean, that was a hit, boy.
As the shoulder goes
Oh!
through the body.
Goodness gracious.
Svechnikov doesn't come high.
That's like a Greg Lloyd hit.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Goes Lindholm.
Wow.
And of course, a big fight ensued after this too. But I mean, it was a perfectly clean play.
Right.
And that's sort of the one thing that kind of bothers me a little bit about today's NHL is, okay, so you decapitated a guy, but it was a clean play. There was nothing dirty. It was just a good, solid, vicious
physical
hockey
play. Yeah, it was a physical play.
Yeah, and these guys today, like, you can't have that without everybody going up in arms and a fight breaks out. And, the only good thing is you don't have the bench clearing brawls like they had in the 70s and early 80s.
Right. Well, the other thing about it, in hockey, I give them credit. They truly fight.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's getting like baseball fights, how they all congregate.
Yeah, but nothing happens in baseball fights.
Baseball, they're all paired up and nobody's punching.
Right.
Or they're grabbing one guy with six guys.
Yeah.
Hold me back. The guy's swinging. Hold me back.
Well, same with basketball. I mean, they're just swinging like, basketball players are the worst fighters. They're throwing like girl style punches. And, I'm like, come on.
They're just doing it to get a guy thrown out or something. That's
right.
all.
And then in football, you got these idiots punching helmets. Like that's going to do something,
Or you pull out a Myles Garrett. He's taking his helmet off and using it as a weapon.
Right. When he hit, what's his name? Who was our QB at the time? God, I can see him.
Yeah.
Mason Rudolph.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he said that, he used the N-word or something, which is the lowest thing you could do.
Right. Well,
because
here's the strange thing about it. When you say that you heard him say it, how come his other teammates were out there weren't outraged because he said it? How come the referee who was right there, never said he heard anything?
Right.
So I always say Myles Garrett's a liar. Smoking Jim got to be controversial. He goes, he didn't lie. They say that all the time. I go, nobody heard it.
Right. I mean, there were plenty of other people there who would have been like, oh, nothing. And then, that would have been like instant reaction on it. Like, whoa, and none of that happened. So, I mean, I'm like, come on, man. I hate when people use things like that in a false sense.
Yeah.
Because then when it happens for real, it's like the kid who cried wolf.
Very true. And you see it so much in sports, because of social media and everything else. They want to have that clip out there on Twitter or Instagram or wherever else, and 100,000 people see it. Well, you were dead wrong. You didn't play the game right. So.
Right. And the worst thing about it is now he literally, I mean, if I'm Mason Rudolph, I would have sued him.
Yeah.
Because you're literally assassinating his character. Because you know how the news media is. They'll play that all over the place. Oh, Mason Rudolph said this and that. But then they never retract it. Or if they do, it's on like page 8 hidden underneath an ad for like weight gain supplement or something.
And I think Rudolph has suffered permanently from that.
Oh, I think so too. Yeah.
Because he was coming on as a quarterback. I'll just say that. He showed some sparks. He hasn't since.
He did. I totally agree. He was not the same kid, not the same quarterback.
And then I tell people, how could you be the same after that happened?
Yeah. Yeah. No, that whole thing was a mess.
Yeah.
But, so I'll play the highlights of the Penguins game. We can, go through it again. Let's see here, video file.
Well, in case you guys and girls don't know, we don't want to really relive the Penguin game because it was a loss that we weren't really in it. So the delays are premeditated.
Yes.
Just how to protect you. That's it.
But, I thought the Pens played all right in the beginning. Like I said, they were in it till the third period, about 5-6 minutes, and that's where the game kind of ended. Now, that was a good save right there.
Right.
Oh, what's his name? Domingue did make a fantastic save. If you remember.
He made a few of them, Attila. He made a few.
Yeah, but the one was highway robbery. And I think, is it here coming up or no, this might be the goal.
Yeah, this is, I think,
no. Yeah, this is the goal. Okay, so look where Letang is. Letang does this all the time. This is what pisses me off when he does. Look where he is.
Yeah.
He's so far in the crease, he's literally getting in the goalie's way. That goal happened because he is there getting in a goalie's way. And I can't tell you how many times he's done that. He gets physical with the guy, and I don't mind that, but keep him out there. Don't allow the guy to get back in a crease, and then you're just getting in a goalie's way.
Yeah, but Attila, to break it down, here's what gets me. He's on the guy, and the guy spins towards the goalie. If I'm a defender, don't I spin with him to protect the goalie? He goes the opposite way.
Yeah.
That's what bothers me.
What about knocking guys on their ass? I don't really see much of that from the Penguins when it comes to clearing out guys from in front of the net.
No, that's not our team.
No,
we don't do that. We take the hits. We don't really give the hits.
Oh, here was the highway robbery.
Yeah,
right there. That was highway robbery, boy. Whoa, that was a beautiful save.
And his
he
glove
even showed
hand
immediately.
Yeah, his glove hand is strong.
Yeah. There are things I like about this kid a lot. It's just, he's a journeyman for a reason.
Well, here's the other thing, which is a negative in my book. He's 30 years old.
See, I don't think that's a bad thing per se, because many goalies, if you look at their best years, they're in their 30s.
Yeah, but that's part of my point. If you're not making it up till now, you don't have that little get used to the league for a year or two when you're in your 20s. I'm saying you got to do it right now.
Right.
And that's sort of a negative because you're a journeyman doing it. There we go.
There we go. Gensel, of course. Who else?
How about Gensel? And then wait till we talk about Sid's goal.
Yeah.
That was a 200-foot man.
But again, what happened here? It's just the first line that produced.
Yeah.
And, the Penguins' bottom six are going to have to contribute.
Oh,
And
without a
again,
doubt.
I'll let them slide on this game per se, because like I said, I think everybody's so focused on trying to defend and protect Domingue
Yes.
that, I can let that slide. But at some point we're going to need help from the third and fourth line. They're going to have to chip in an odd goal here and there.
Oh, without, like they've done before. They've done it, but not
Yeah.
recently that much. So
The thing I noticed about Domingue is he's a positional goalie from what I see.
yeah.
He tends to get himself in good position. Oh, but by the way, another thing, Penguins hit a post again, at least one or two posts.
Yes, they did. They had a couple again. Yeah.
Yeah. They got to cut that shit out.
Put 2x4 posts in there. That'll be right in. That'll end that, Attila. We talked about it.
Yes, they got to stop that, man. I mean, the other night they hit about 3 posts, and tonight they hit 2 posts. And
oh yeah,
if they finish just one of those, and we go into the third period 3-3, it could be a whole different game.
Oh, it changes the complexion of the game. That's how
Letang's out there again, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm watching Letang. And what's he do? He's riding away to goalie again. And not really doing anything about number 20 who's standing there.
He's not after a man. He's just standing in, there.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's not helping back there. I mean, that's the thing that drives me nuts about Letang. He is, he's a great offensive defenseman.
Yes.
But he tends to be a liability on defense often. And it drives me crazy because he's out there for like 30 minutes a game.
Yeah.
And, that's a lot of liability.
Well, we've seen it his previous years. The last 2 years, he cut down on that. So that's why we notice the difference now when he's going back to the mean. I always say they go back to the mean. They revert back to how they were.
Yeah.
And that's what seems to be happening, just like with Malkin. He'll make some defensive plays, offensive plays. Then I look around and I go, where's Malkin? He disappears.
Yeah. See, I can't blame Domingue on this goal because he was screened and it was redirected.
He didn't see it. Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't think he ever saw that puck.
No.
So, okay, that one was not Letang's fault.
Yes, finally.
Yes, finally.
Good observation.
Is this Sid's goal coming up here?
Yeah.
No. Yeah, it is. Yes. Boom. That was just he's a beast.
Watch the replay when they show where Sid came from with the goal, the puck.
Oh, yeah. No, he carried that all the way up ice, I think.
Yeah, here he is. Before the blue line, all the way in.
It was a Rusty. He gets the rebound.
Russ shoots, and a rebound. Look, Crosby doesn't quit. What's he do?
He
Stay in front of the goal.
Yeah.
And then there it is.
And that was, if you're a Rangers fan, you're shaking your head because there were 3 defensemen plus a goalie.
Exactly. And
there was some highway robbery on Malkin there, but I don't think Malkin got good shot on that puck.
He did.
Kind of came side up on the side and stuff at him.
Yeah.
So he never got a good clean shot off. And I saw he was pretty mad about that. If you remember, afterwards he was out there. I think he exchanged sticks.
Oh yeah, yeah. He was the Mad Russian came out.
Right here, if Sid was just back a foot and the puck was a little further back, I think he would have had a goal. He was just so close. He was so close in that there was no lifting. And here we go. We're in the third period here now.
Yeah,
okay, so the Rangers goal should be coming up.
Yeah, that's what we have. That'll be a highlight. you're scraping these highlights, so that'll be
There's Letang. Letang just in the no man's land there. Okay, he went after. And see, he missed the hit there. This was the own goal. And if you watch it, he went for the hit instead of playing the puck on that, and he missed.
Yeah.
And then he hacked the guy twice. He hacked him twice. This would have been a penalty.
And Sid's usually good, but he was a few extra feet back.
Yeah.
He was going the right way, but look where he is.
Yeah. Well, if Matheson wasn't there, Sid would have went through.
Yeah, that's the problem. Matheson was in Sid's way.
Yeah, that was just an unfortunate play. It really was on the side of the Pens. And like I said, I mean, if Letang doesn't miss that hit originally, that play never happens.
Exactly.
And there's Letang again. So he was out there for 4 to 5 goals,
Yeah.
And it's just, again, I don't want to hark on a guy, and I'm trying not to, but sometimes you just go like, okay, like this one, I'm not going to blame on him because he was on the other side of the ice.
Right.
And he did get there, but a little late.
Yeah, but did you see Matheson had a hit on him? He could have against the wall, and he missed it.
Yeah.
And then he
Again,
came
it was
out.
like Letang on the other side.
Look, right there. He missed that hit.
Yeah.
And look, Letang's 3 steps behind.
Yeah. Well, again, I'm not going to blame Letang on that one because he was coming from the other side of the ice, you know, so he was trying to cover up Matheson's mistake. But, you know, these were the costly plays, I thought. Just the missed hits, missed opportunities, a couple of posts, and, you know, what's his name? The Rangers goalie, Shesterkin, whatever, did the rest. You know, he also made some good saves. He made some quality saves on the Penguins.
He shut us down a few times that looked like goals. How many times did we have a 3 or 4 pass? Somebody was open with a shot, and he shut them down.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, we saw that numerous times. He's a great goaltender this year.
He is a great goaltender, and he's young. And, you know, we're going against a top-notch goalie with a third-string goalie. Again,
part of what I said on my Pittsburgh Sportsline show is we may be seeing the end of the core, the 3 core players.
Oh, we are.
You know,
no question about it.
Crosby, Letang, and Malkin. And then look at how you can see age is affecting our core.
Absolutely. You know, at this
and you
point,
can't deny it.
No, you can't. And my play right now, if I'm the Penguins, my rallying cry would be, let's get a 4th one for the trio. That would be my rallying cry. I would really just, because really that's your best shot. And especially when you're playing with a 3rd-string goalie. I mean, they were just unfortunate that Jari got injured when he did.
Well, now look, the Smith had a core surgery. I thought they had said normally it was dehydration, and they said a lower body. He had a core operation on his core.
Is that what happened?
He's done. They announced he's done. So, you know, you might as well say goodbye. Because
we might have to get Ron Hextall to dress up.
He might be a little too old, buddy.
Hey, you know what? He was a great goalie in his time. He really was.
So he was feisty too.
He's got to be about as good as a 3rd-string goalie.
You make an interesting point there.
Right.
I don't think he'll get paid if he steps in as a goaltender, though. He'd have to do it pro bono.
Wouldn't that be great, though? That'd be like when Mario came back out of retirement to play with Sid.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yes, I do.
You can tell, like, okay, Mario's clearly not the Mario that he used to be, and he's just here to have some fun with Sid the Kid.
Oh, yeah.
So I think I don't know. It's a crazy thought, but I would absolutely love to see it. I would pay to see Ron Hextall put on the pads and get in going for the pads.
Oh, how can you not? You know, you're talking greatness out there, and
right.
Like now we're who's the 4th goaltender coming up or whatever? Who's he?
They showed him. I don't even know who he is. I have no idea.
I saw his name come up, but I didn't pay attention.
You know what? A friend of mine's nephew plays goalie in one of the minor leagues. His last name is Savchek. Savchek, yeah. So Ukrainian kid. So we went to Duquesne University together. That's how Michael and I met. And so we were on the same floor. We were Earl brothers together, you know. So that was our little.
Well, I'm part Ukrainian, so I didn't brag about it till now. But you know, so look at you met another Ukrainian guy.
Oh, I know plenty of them. In fact, I think Scott Gradden, might be Ukrainian. He was one of my guys.
Scott.
Yeah,
what a nice
I think
guy
it might be.
he is.
I'm not sure. I think it might be.
Yeah.
But at any rate, So you know, without Penguins, without goalie help, man, the Pens aren't going anywhere. And it's sad. Right. It's sad because it was just bad luck. Bad luck with Jari going down and then the Smith going down. And you know, when you're down to your third string goalie, I don't know what kind of hope. I don't know what kind of magic you need to even get out of the first round.
Well, think about this. This game was a disappointing game. We lost 5-2. We had a couple posts, but you can't depend on luck.
Right.
You need some of the top players. Here's what I used to call it.
And you need the lower six to step in. They need to step in.
But here's what I talk about normally on my show the last few years. We had a power outage in the playoffs when your top goal scorers aren't scoring those goals.
Right.
Even if it's just on the top line, okay, get 2 or 3 goals from that line.
Right.
They're the best. Their line, our top line, is the best in the NHL.
One of them for
So,
sure.
there's nobody even close with what they do consistently.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, but you can't rely. You can't win in hockey with just one line.
no, I'm with you 100%. I want to see the bottom six come up with a couple things. Yeah.
You need 4 lines, and you look at whenever, and we don't have a line like we had with that MLK line or what? No, what was it?
Oh yeah.
MLK. I got Martin Luther on my head.
HBK or something.
Yes, Yeah.
HBK.
Who was it? Hagelin, Bonino.
Yeah.
And
I forgot. You got me.
Oh my God, it was the third guy. I could see him. He played. I think did he play with Malkin?
Yeah,
the guy
did,
we got from Toronto. Guy we got from Toronto.
Yes.
Chunkier guy. Oh my God.
Somebody tune in, help us. We need help.
Right. But at any rate, that line got us to the playoffs.
Yeah.
That line played a huge role in us winning not only that first cup, but the back-to-back. And you know what's interesting? You know what's interesting is I don't know if any other team has ever done this, but as far as I know, the Penguins are the only team to every time they get to a championship, they go there twice.
Wow. Interesting.
I can't think of another team who's ever done that. Like literally they won in 91, 92 or 90, 91, however you look at it. Yeah. Then they lost in 08, won in 09, right? With Detroit, the back-to-back. So they were there back-to-back. And then this last one.
That was against Detroit, right? With 08 and then 09. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if any other team has ever done that where they only won championships back-to-back.
No, we got to check the books.
Or not won championships, but went to the championships back-to-back each time.
Right.
Because they didn't win in 08, right? Or whatever that was. The first year with Detroit.
08,
then they won the next year.
Yeah.
So that's very weird. I don't know if any other team has ever done that where they only went to a championship back-to-back every time.
Inquiring minds want to know.
I mean, what are the odds? You know what I mean?
They got to be large odds.
Yeah. I mean, you could see it like, okay, if you say the Steelers did it in 70, twice in the 70s.
Yeah.
But then they went ahead and they got there with Bill Cowher and, with Neil O'Donnell.
Yeah, Neil O'Donnell. And then the fix was in with the mobsters.
That's what
Neil
we're
O'Donnell
hearing.
threw those two interceptions
Perfect passes.
to the Dallas Cowboy guy who signed a multi-year contract.
What was his name? Was that Larry Brown or who was that?
I forget, but he signed a multi-year contract, never did anything
Raiders,
after
right?
that.
I think he went to the Raiders after that.
Yeah.
I think it was money.
That's where I believe there's a lot of fixed sports.
Yeah. Then he never did anything with them, though.
No.
So it's like he kind of quietly went into the night with his millions.
Yes.
Hey, you know what? Good for him, man. If you can cash in on that, good for you.
Hey, it's about the money, and you're playing a kid's game. God bless you. Right. No, that's cool. But we're struggling. We're struggling with the Penguins' future right now.
Yeah,
how I see it.
Yeah.
How do we come back?
I don't know how far this team would have gone, even if they had Jari. Were they a championship caliber team? I don't think so.
Well, in my opinion,
only because of their age, and hockey especially is a young man's game.
Right. Well, in my opinion, I was saying if Jari played like he did during the year, which was a great improvement, I thought we could get to the second series and win that, and then see what happened next.
Yeah, at best, I think. I think at best.
Because I trust him on the 50-50 that he would have won this time, not giving a puck away and lose the game.
Right.
And he was playing up in the front of the blue, and he was cutting angles down tremendously. He wasn't back in deep. And, defense means so much in any playoff game.
Oh, absolutely. It's wins championships.
Look at the first half of the season of this year, what Jari did.
Yeah.
That was tremendous.
Oh, he was monstrous. Especially when they went on that, 10-game win streak run or whatever they were on.
Right.
He was a beast. And I think he played in every game, I think, on that run.
Well, here's what you like to see. Fleury did it at times. He'd steal a game.
Yeah.
During the season, Jari stole a few games.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And you know what pissed me off is in the regular season, they kept letting down for DeSmith. Every time, like DeSmith would come in, allow like 2 to 3 goals.
Right.
And they would find a way to lose that game. Like they would score 1 goal for him. And I'm like, look, if your goalie gives up 3 goals and you lose, That's on you.
Right. Well, Attila, what I've said the last few years, I would call it a power outage.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how can we be one of the highest scoring teams in the NHL for how many years?
Right.
And now we're in these tight games and we're not scoring. So who takes the blame? The scorers, whoever
Yes.
they are, first, second, third, fourth line, you're not scoring. Score one goal in a game.
Well, the bottom
That's
six
all.
has not produced so far in the 2 games. We got nothing out
Right.
of the bottom 6.
No, I
So
know.
there is that. And you're not
Yeah.
going to win in hockey successfully in the playoffs if your bottom 6 is not producing. That's fact.
Oh, yeah.
I look for Malkin's line to play much better tomorrow.
Yeah. Kapanen has been playing pretty well.
He has.
These 2 games. Actually, I have to say, I'll go out on a limb. I think the last 2 games he's played has been better than what he did all season consistently.
But I think he missed quite a few games in the season, did he not? Or did he get benched?
Not
or
a whole
was
lot.
It an injury?
No, he had a little stretch. But to me, he was a number 1 pick.
Yeah.
Who hasn't shown anything being a number 1 pick for the couple years he's been here.
I agree with that.
He has speed, but it's like watching somebody go after a linebacker straight down the field. The quarterback moves 1 step away and they don't get him.
Right.
That's what he looks like on hockey.
Right.
Straight down and okay, no goal. That's
By the way, not to change the subject to Steelers, but I do got to give your co-host kudos, and I gave him kudos.
Yes.
On calling. Remember, he called that Watt was going to be an All-Pro player, a Hall of Fame player, before he even played his first game in the NFL. He just saw him in I think it was the first preseason game where we were at the show.
It was before the season started.
Yeah.
He was yelling and screaming that he's the greatest linebacker in Steeler history. And I go, Smoking Jim, you come out with these outrageous things, but I would give him at least 2 or 3 years before I'd say it, because we got Hall of Fame linebackers.
Well, I mean, it's Steelers linebackers. That's what it is.
Yeah. Exactly.
So,
just like with Penn State is linebacker you.
Yeah, the Steelers since the 70s have never had a season where they didn't have at least one All-Pro caliber linebacker.
Oh yeah. And
remember Mike Merriweather, I think, was the guy in the 80s. Mike Merriweather was a beast.
Yeah. And look at Greg Lloyd. Look at guys like that.
You know what's funny? I have an autographed picture of Greg Lloyd sacking Jim Kelly.
No way.
And then here's the funny thing is I went to a golf outing just years ago, back I think 96-ish.
Okay.
And Jim was at the golf outing, and he was kind of a dick to me. I'll be honest with you. He wasn't the nicest guy. But, I was going to have Jim sign the other half of it. Now, I didn't have the heart to, hurt his feelings in front of that many people. But I think that would have been hilarious. If he had a sense of humor, he would have done it.
Well, I heard with growing up being a tough guy with his brothers and stuff, he would have his moments, but he's a pretty good guy. And he was a pretty good quarterback, too.
Oh, he was. I'm not questioning his quarterbacking skills. It's just, like I said, on the day that he and I met, he was a bit of a dick. So
yeah,
he might have been having a bad day. I don't know. People have bad days. So I'm going to chalk that off as, it was what it was. But,
right.
If it starts happening, if you hear other people coming out with the same thing, then you go, okay, there's a pattern there.
No, well, like I say, that's why I'm nice. I don't know what kind of day you had. You worked out, so that's a good day. But I don't know what kind of day you had, and I'm not going to tell you about my day. But look at how I'm acting and interacting with you. No problem.
Right.
That's all I ask of others.
Right.
Like you could have a terrible day. I'll just share mine. I had a friend that I worked over 30 years with. He was a guy that died on the news that a tree hit him on my street 5 minutes from my house. A 70-foot tree hit his van, crushed it. His wife had no injury. She's alive. I was at the funeral home. He's 6'5". He died instantly. 6 other people got hit by the same tree. I don't care how big you are as a
human. That tree's gonna, that tree's gonna be way
6
heavier.
other people, imagine this, walked away.
Wow.
So 7 out of 8 people live. He's 63 years old, was president of my union. I was just there reminiscing about these days. We were all shocked. So, but here I'm dealing with you. It's very sad.
Yeah.
To have a lifelong friend like that die.
Yeah, absolutely.
Those things happen, but we carry on. I would have not been the bad Jim Kelly to you. That's what I'm telling you. That's my Pittsburgh example.
It was actually kind of funny because I met there were a couple people out there. Oh, what was his name? Who was the Steelers GM with Bill Cowher, who Cowher had kind of ended up pushing out.
Donahue.
Yeah, Donahoe. Yeah, I met
Yeah.
him. He was there.
My
John
dad was
Schneider
friends with him. He was a basketball coach at one time.
He was a really nice guy. He
Yeah.
really, really was. He was genuinely, and it was kind of funny because from a distance, I thought it was Bob O'Connor. And
Oh,
because they look kind of, they resemble each other, you know?
right,
So
with their hairstyle and things.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. And it's, I got
because
up
I
close.
knew Bob O'Connor. He
too.
ran Sweet Williams in Greentree here, and my sisters worked for him. So
Yeah,
I met him back, way back then when he was a manager or owner of that Sweet Williams.
Well, I knew. So I'm good friends with the Garth family, and Richie Garth was married to Heidi, his daughter. So I was at their wedding.
Wow, that's so cool.
So, yeah, and Judy, Bob's wife, is best friends with one of my neighbors.
Wow.
So she used to be over here all the time, So they were great people. I like, now unfortunately, what's the youngest son now? The councilman, Corey.
Corey O'Connor.
I would say that Corey is not cut from the same cloth as Bob. but I love the family. I mean, they're a good family.
No, they're all good people, and
yeah.
What you find out is some people shouldn't be in this job or that job.
And that I would say for sure. I would say for sure, absolutely. The funniest thing that happened to me meeting someone was, this is back, oh my God, we're going back to like 2000, right?
Whoa. Yeah. 22 years ago. Come on, buddy.
Oh my God, that was 22 years ago. Good Lord. Time flies, man.
You're getting older. Wait till you get to be this age.
Right.
Here, that's nothing. 22. So I got socks 40. I got socks 40 years old.
So sitting in my living room, right? My then girlfriend and I were watching TV, just kind of sitting in the living room talking and stuff. And I go out in the kitchen, I look out, my dad is out sitting on a back deck with this black guy. I didn't really pay any attention. I just they're sitting there talking. He was having his house refinanced or whatever. So I didn't bother them, right? And I paid no mind, right? The black guy had his back to the door.
Sure.
So I see them talking. So I go back in and I'm hanging out. I went and got a drink, whatever. I go back in and we're hanging out. And about 45 minutes later, my dad comes in and he has a business card in his hand and he hands it to me. He's like, this guy out there says that you might know who he is. I look at the card. Louis Lips.
Wow.
Louis Lips.
I met Louis Lips many times. We did a couple different shows where I interviewed him. We had a police pal game between teachers, and he would play on the team just like Charlie Batch.
Yeah.
And I interviewed Louis Lips, and he'd see me. He knew me after a few years. He goes, "You here again, talking machine." I go, "Louis, you're still running up and down the courts." He goes, "Yeah, I am."
Well, the next time you see him,
guy.
The next time you see him, tell him Attila said hi. He'll remember me.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it was hysterical. And I went out there and I'm like, is this the Louis Lips? And he turns around. I'm like, yes, it is. Yeah, that's him. I used to work at a restaurant called Brendan's. It was over in Shadyside on Walnut Street.
Oh, okay.
So when I was in high school, it was a big, it was a restaurant bar. Upstairs was like the grand.
I think I remember seeing it. Yeah.
Yeah. It was a cool place. Downstairs was like, casual dining. And then after like midnight, it just turned bar only. And then the upstairs was a fancy, suit and tie type of restaurant.
Sure.
So anyway, I was a busboy there. And boy, I got a lot of fight stories there.
I'm sure.
But anyway, Louis' restaurant was right down the street from us on the other side of the street.
Okay.
So you would see him literally sprinting to his restaurant, because I guess he's running late or whatever. So we would see him like every other day sprinting to that restaurant.
What a great story. For sure.
He told me hilarious stories about Bubby Brister. And
he was like, man, he was not a bright man.
No, he wasn't. But, Louis would tell me they would have all these parties like in Mount Lebanon and, these other places, right? And Bubby would literally, he would drive a pickup truck. And Bubby would show up with like 6 or 7 broads in the back of the pickup truck.
Sure.
And he's like, the ladies loved him. They loved him, right?
Sure.
So, but he would leave them there. Like, he would just, whenever he left, he would just leave them there.
You're kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
I mean, that's a total Bubby thing to do,
That's
remember when
Bubby's way.
Remember when he wanted to incorporate the shotgun into the Steelers offense because Chuck Noll wouldn't do the shotgun. So he snuck like a paper or something with arguments as to why they should be using the shotgun.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah. He's pleading the case.
Yeah, he was a character, man.
He was one for the ages.
He wasn't a bad QB, though.
Well, he had some skills.
Yeah, he had skills, just, you know.
Like I've told you before,
he wasn't Brady up here.
I mentioned the 2-cent brain that some of these athletes have. His was one.
Right. He bought it on a discount.
Yeah, he got discounted in there. And look, he became a starter. What the heck?
Yeah, he did. He played pretty well for Denver, if I remember right.
Well,
when he ended up going to the Broncos. So
yeah. That he
all right,
did.
well, let's hope that the Penguins somehow can pull a miracle and I don't know, get goaltending.
Well, if Domingue can play a little tighter, he's 6'3", so he does have the size.
Yeah.
And he has some of the reflexes, which we've seen.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I like his glove hand better than Murray.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
In the short time he's been here.
Even though it's on the opposite hand.
Yeah, his glove seems better.
Oh, yeah, yeah. He definitely has skills. There's no question about it. It's just, those little mental breaks, like not having your stick down, things like that.
Yeah.
And it would be helpful if people like Letang would get out of his way and allow him to make a save.
Well, I got to lump Letang in with.
You got to move those players. You got to move those Rangers from in front of net.
Well, I got to lump Letang and all the defensive players. Just get in front of a guy.
Yeah.
That could stop. Yeah, just move in front of him. And like you said, knock a guy down.
You know what I see constantly in the NHL? The refs seem to allow cross checks in front of the net.
Yes.
We never do it.
No, it's rare.
No, we never do it. Our guys never do it. They'll cross check down the other end. Yeah. When you take that offensive penalty, which pisses me off. But cross check the shit out of that guy standing in front of the goal. Don't allow him to just, block the goalie's view.
Yeah.
Especially when you got your third string guy in there.
Like me being a history of a lineman in the center. If you got a guy 300 pounds, just stay in front of him.
Yes.
And that's what I would do. I was at 190, so I struggled a little bit there. But, I'd hit him at least. So I'd get in the way. A running back can go or the quarterback can throw the ball. Guess what? Yeah. Let the puck scorer, stop him, stop the scorer. Yeah.
And another thing I wish that they would quit doing, but this is an overall thing in the league, is when there's a 2-on-1 breakaway, the defenseman kind of stands in between the two guys and, tries to take away the pass. But to me, that's so dumb. I hate that. I would rather have him take out the guy who has the puck, take him out, and then if he can get that pass across, now the goalie has to play 1-on-1 against the shooter. So be it. Then but take away one of those guys.
Here, from playing street hockey and things, when you see a guy with the ball and you go even knock into the guy that has the ball coming up towards the goal, I remember falling out and knocking guys over. So he couldn't get it to his other friend right there.
Exactly.
So, why can't they do that?
To me, just take out the guy. I hate that. And again, this is a overall league thing. This isn't even just a Penguins thing. They all do it. And it drives me crazy because, again, all you're doing is now the goalie has to sit there and he's thinking, okay, is there going to be a pass? Is he going to take one of them out? Is he going to, what's going to happen? So either get down immediately and skate towards, make the guy with the puck have to make the pass.
Yeah.
Or take him out physically and then allow whatever happens between the shooter and the goalie. Because to me, these goalies are good enough that 9 out of 10 times, or at least 8 out of 10 times, they're going to stop the shooter.
Sure.
Let's face it, a breakaway is in a goalie's favor. It's not like in soccer where the net is like 18 feet wide. Literally.
Very true. Very true. I've seen that. Yes.
Yeah, right. If you get a goalie against, a forward in soccer, well, the goalie's dead meat. That's why the penalty kicks are like automatic, unless you go into overtime and, and the players are all exhausted and their muscles are twitching and, that's different. Yeah. But here you got to go. Most goalies are like over 6 feet nowadays. They're big. Yeah. Remember when Garth Snow was the only guy who wore the big pads? Now they all do.
Right.
Now they all
I do remember. Yeah.
Yeah. So now it's everybody's Garth Snow. And not only that, but they got bigger gloves, the sticks. The goalie, and I know they made the goal slightly bigger, but they didn't make it that much bigger.
No, not at all.
So it's still like I would allow, take out the one guy and allow the other guy to go in against the goalie because it's like 80% in your goalie's favor.
Yeah.
And if he beats your goalie, he beats your goalie. But when you allow, how many times do you see that play turning to a 2-0, or both the defenseman and the goalie take one guy and the other guy's wide open, he gets him the puck and he goes in.
Exactly. You see that.
So,
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. So
I vote for Attila to change the rules.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, it's been another great chat, I think.
Yes, I enjoyed it thoroughly. We covered beginning to end. It wasn't a stellar game. And you pointed out Letang needs to get back to a little more on the defense, doing what he knows.
Well, my thing is, if he's going to take up 30 minutes a game, then don't be a liability.
Right.
And he was out there for 4 out of the 5 goals.
Yeah.
That's 80% in my book. So
you're good at math tonight. You're on fire.
It all seems to be coming out to 80%. So
everything you say is 80%.
That's right. 80% true.
And the goaltender can stop 80% of the breakaways. Okay.
He can. I hope so. So let's see what happens. I'm not putting a lot of stock in the Penguins winning this series, not with a third string goalie.
Well, Saturday night's the game. Maybe a day of rest now that they could rest up a little bit. See what happens if they can get that energy. What I need to see is that energy in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah. Well, and you know what, though? I think at home, it's critical that you score in that first 5 minutes.
Get the crowd juiced up. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're fired up. You're going on all that juice. And, if you don't get that goal, how many times do you see the home team buzzing like bees for the first 10 minutes? They don't score a goal. What happens?
They get beat.
Goal against them the other way.
Yeah.
And now you're deflated. Your crowd is deflated. You're down 1-0. And in the playoffs, and by the way, Edmonton, boy, what an ass whooping they put on the LA Kings the other night.
I was shocked.
Did you know that Donovan McNabb's nephew plays for the Oilers?
No, I didn't see that. You're kidding.
Well, you got who? They had 2 black players on there. One is, I think, Evander Kane, right? He's playing with McDavid.
Yeah.
And then I think on the second or third line, you have, what's his name? Darnell Nurse, I think is his name.
Okay, yeah, I've seen him.
Darnell Nurse. He's a young kid, and he's Donovan McNabb's nephew.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was like, wow, that's pretty cool,
That is.
So look for him. I'll
have to check it out.
Like I said, Edmonton's my team now.
I hear you loud and clear. You're on to something. You might be Nostradamus.
Well, I don't know if they're going to win it this year, but, because there's some stiff competition. I think this is the stiffest competition I've seen in years.
Well, what you notice in every league is parity.
Yeah.
And when you see that parity come out and you see a couple
except baseball.
Yeah. Oh. Well, there's parity, but then there's the elite.
Right.
So,
in baseball,
and there's that six elite teams that always are there.
You still got your Yankees, your Boston
Houston,
Red Sox, your White Sox. Houston, right. So LA, I think, will be another one.
How can they not be? Maybe San Diego. We'll see. But
yeah. So, all right. So here we go. I can't even root for the Buccos because they're just not even trying to win. So
who are they? Who are you talking about?
I don't know. I think we got this team in Pittsburgh that just gets paid to do really nothing.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't understand what you were saying. I'll have to think about it. I'll watch the replay.
Yeah, so it's going to be a long summer, and then we look forward to the Kenny Pickett era in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, no, we will see what he's truly made out of. That's the key.
Pickett.
Yeah,
I think he's a stud. I think he's a stud. I really do.
Well,
I think
I have some reservations because he did it in a COVID year and a difference of it was his 5th or 6th year here. He's 24 now.
That's
and
true.
What did he do before? He looked great against the teams that I found out were lesser in the ACC. They weren't as stellar as they should be. And I hate to be in a conspiracy about good quarterbacks in college. Where are they in the pros?
Oh, yeah. No, I agree with you. I mean, look, Brady was a 5th round pick for crying out loud.
Right. I would have rather he been a 6th round pick and then say, let's go.
Yeah.
If that would have happened. And then here's what bothers me, just being a realist. When you have the weakest so-called quarterback draft in years,
right,
and your guy's one of the top two. And I mentioned only top two.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's that tell you about the rest?
Well, let's see. Let's see what happens. And
then look at Willis, who they said we were interested in, but we always wanted Pickett. Because, like I say, if you let Pickett go and he's from Pitt, the media here would have torn him apart like
well, I mean, the
couldn't
Dan
believe.
Marino thing is going to haunt Pittsburgh forever. So
right, and there were other circumstances behind it, but I'm for Kenny Pickett. He's here. I wish him well, but he has to do something. He can't just coast in to get this quarterback job, because guess what? We're going to have nothing then.
Well, I think that's why they brought in the kid from Chicago, whatever his name was. I don't remember now.
I actually like him because he was a second pick in a draft. He has some speed and he played, but his coaching staff misused and abused him in the 4 years that he was there. And he's only 27.
Oh, that's not old.
Yeah, so I mean, the potential's there if we coach him up. But
Yeah.
here's the problem. I just saw his contract. It looks like he's only going to be here for 1 year because they have incentives. He gets $6 million. He can get up to $4 million, which would be $10 million. And then there's other clauses that would add for 2023 where it would up his contract. So they may not want to pay him 10, 15 million, in the next year.
I'm sure they won't.
So he'll be a one-hit wonder if he does play, which I think he will be the starter.
I think he's going to get the start. I think he's going to get the start without a doubt. And if Pickett can sit behind him for a year and learn, and then hopefully be good, ready to go next year, that's,
Yeah, but I don't think he has a year to do it. I think because he's the number one pick, that he'll have to be moved in by the 6th, 7th, 8th game. Because
look, if he's ready for it, then I'm okay with that. And it's going to depend what the Steelers are doing too. I mean, if they're 8-0 with Trubinsky, then he's not playing.
Well,
okay.
Here's one thing they got to do. The center they had, who was a starting guard in college, was atrocious. This Green or whoever he was.
Yeah.
He was getting knocked back 6, 7 yards. Najee Harris is the greatest running back to beat Franco's record without an offensive line.
Right.
And so if they get a center and a guard and a tackle, or at least half of them are good, we're going to be fine because we'll have a running game that's consistent.
Well, I was surprised that they didn't go for any offensive linemen in the draft. And I thought that they would at least, like with the 3rd pick where they took another linebacker, I thought for sure they'd go for an offensive lineman there. But or even
I stated on my Pittsburgh Sports Line show, they needed offensive, defensive linemen in the first couple rounds.
Yeah.
If we needed a quarterback, get somebody in the 3rd, 4th, 5th round. That's how I was thinking. And if you got 2 defensive linemen, 2 offensive linemen that were starting guards and, starting center in college, and defensive linemen that were starters that were good, wouldn't that upgrade our line? We were the worst defense against running.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
In history, that's the first time that happened.
And that's insane. That's insane coming from a Steelers defense.
No, that's why I'm glad we're doing a little Steeler talk after Penguins. But no, we got so many things to close the gap on there.
Yeah. Oh, they're not Super Bowl caliber next year. There's no doubt about it. I think it's going to be kind of.
I'm going to mention a word that the Steelers don't use. I won't spell it. I'll just say it. Rebuild.
Yeah.
They never mention a rebuild. If you're not rebuilding after you lost a Hall of Fame quarterback, then what are you doing in football?
Right. And it's not like they were lucky enough to go from Joe Montana to Steve Young.
Right.
That happens once in a lifetime at best.
Exactly.
So,
and even look at the Packers going from Favre to Rodgers.
Right.
But then how can Rodgers be MVP in the league and he can't score more than 10 points in a playoff game?
Yes.
And he juggled.
This is why I say that's not the same as going from Montana to Steve Young.
That's why I'm showing the facts.
Yeah.
For our friends and people watching or tuning in later.
I mean, that was a good transition, right?
Yeah.
But it's not, and they did win that Super Bowl over the Steelers, of course.
Right.
So they had that, but really since then they've done nothing. Neither team has done anything.
Well, I've said it before, and I go to Art Rooney taking over for Dan Rooney. And to me, I got to blame the leadership of the Steelers. What's he done in a dozen years? And do you ever hear him talk? You know, he's not impressive as a speaker at all. And the actions of the team, look, they've let Tomlin, who I thought was a good coach at the beginning, they said Butler didn't call one defensive play as a defensive coordinator. So, and that came out from ESPN, and it was confirmed by Butler after he retired.
Right.
So here's my point. We got Tomlin running the whole show.
Yeah.
Why don't you have coaches?
Yeah.
So.
No, I agree. And, you know, the thing I also hear is that Dan actually loved football.
Yeah.
Dan loved the Steelers. Dan cared about the team. Everything I'm hearing about Art is that, you know, he couldn't care less. That's not his thing. He's more worried about his businesses and, you know, other things he's doing. And,
yeah,
and
but like I was
alluding
to it, and you're confirming. Look when he does an interview.
Right.
There's no passion.
Right.
We're more passionate about what the Steelers should do or shouldn't do. I'm more passionate on why they even picked Kenny Pickett and didn't get any offensive or defensive linemen.
Well, I still don't have a problem with taking Pickett, but I would have gone for linemen immediately afterwards. Why are you going to take?
No, I'm not bursting your bubble. We did it for whatever reason. We have him. And if he comes through like you and Smoking Jim and others say, I'll be happy. I want to be wrong on this.
Of course.
You know, because I'm pro Steelers. I bleed that black and gold my whole life there.
You know what? I don't bleed the black and gold like I used to when I was younger.
Understand. You know, experience caused that.
Yes. Yeah, that and, you know, winning championships and stuff. You know, I think once you see your team win championship a couple of times, you kind of become a little complacent as a fan as well, you know, like, we won a champion. Okay. Like, at least for me, like, okay, we've been there and done it. Like, I won 3 Pittsburgh marathons. Okay. I've been there, done that. Now I'm moving on to the next thing.
No, I can understand it. I've seen 6 championships in my life. I'm blessed.
See, I moved here in 80, right after the Steelers won their 4th.
Right.
And I had to go through that dry spell of the 80s. And
it was dry.
You know what? The only team I've never seen win a championship in Pittsburgh were the Pirates.
Right.
And because, again, they also won right before we moved here, the year before.
Well, look what I learned. I was born in 56. So in 71.
Hey, that's when all the Hungarians came to Pittsburgh.
Yes. so look what I saw from the age of 15.
Right. Nothing but championships for a while.
76, 74, 75 Super Bowls, 79, 80 Super Bowls. Guess what? Imagine being 15 to 21, 22, and look what you saw, or 24. I saw 6 championships.
Yeah.
How jaded do you
5
think?
5 Stanley Cups and, you know, 3, how many, 2 or 3 World Series?
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
How jaded am I?
Yeah.
I mean, I saw 6.
Right. So.
No.
All right. Well, let's wrap this bad boy up. We've got an hour and 13 again.
Whoa.
Right.
Whoa. Oh, no. Where's the time out? Where'd the time out go? Attila, it's always a pleasure. I'm proud and honored that you wanted me to talk a little bit, but I did listen to you. You made your points, so I got that in there.
Well,
we went off the tracks. About, right? We went off the tracks many a time, and it was all good conversation.
Yes, absolutely.
I beg anybody to differ on the good conversation right now.
Right. Well, as long as you're a sports fan.
Yes.
So, more particularly a Pittsburgh sports fan.
Yes.
So, all right. So we'll do this again Sunday.
I look forward to it.
And let's hope that we have better highlights to show, right?
All I can say is go Pens.
Absolutely. All right, guys.
Take care,
guys. Bye-bye.